Adebayor is one of them. When he was banging in goals under Tim Sherwood, he had some interviews, and everybody saw how generous he is, back in his home country, giving away money, and he still does a lot of that. If that's how he chooses to spend his $100,000 a week, or at least a good chunk of it, then good on him. Mesut Ozil drives everybody crazy. We can make fun of that guy all day long, but what he did down in Brazil, giving away all that money to help with they were building schools or something. I can't remember exactly what it was that he gave all that money to, but it was a really good cause, and it was admirable what he did. Addy has always said, I'm never taking a pay cut, at least while I'm under contract.
He shouldn't.
And he shouldn't.
He shouldn't have to.
No, because if you're under contract, you're under contract.
Yeah,
if he goes to MLS, he's not going to make near the money he makes over there, but...
He shouldn't be made out to be a bastard for that. You make a bed, lie in it. Spurs made a bed, he made a bed.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
All of a sudden, City weren't paying 80% of his contract, and now they were, footing the whole bill, and they didn't like it. That's what it comes down to. And then they got sore with him. The fans booing him when he would come on the pitch was not a good thing. I am not a proponent of that. I do not see that as being okay because it affects the whole squad. It just doesn't affect Adebayor. But I digress. So, Addy, I think, will still be here. I can see Lennon going, even if it's on loan. And I hate saying it, but I can see Lamella going out on loan.
Yeah, it's an interesting deal. A lot of people will point to that coming about because he essentially asked for it. He's the one that said, "I really sort of don't want to be here." Whether or not that's true,
we'll see.
I don't think there's going to be love lost there. The fans, it's not going to bother too many people if he goes, and I think it may very well be time for that. One other, maybe we finish on, because you can't have a question without Keith Nicholson asking a question. So he did ask something to the effect of has Dyer nailed on the spot for CDM? Is it too early? He is a utility player. What's the value for a utility player? I'll just say this. If there is a player to make that transition work on our squad, it is undoubtedly Eric Dyer. I'm going to make one statement that will sound like such an exaggeration, and it is, and it's not meant to be in and of itself, but it's to just give some context. We have a rich history of players playing dual roles as midfielders and defenders. Very, very good players, historically speaking. And, Chairman, I know you immediately identified at least two of those. So
absolutely.
I'm not saying that Dyer is going to be that kind of player, but he shows the gumption. He shows the desire. He has tremendous natural physical ability. In addition to skill, he looked remarkably calm on the ball, which I think has been a knock on him or a question mark about him. If there's any player that can do it with time, I believe it could be him.
Go ahead, Simon. I'm developing an answer.
Well, I agree, and I mentioned it earlier. Four games in, and one really, really good game doth not maketh the man. However, that was a solid performance, and to Steve Reed's point earlier, it reminded him of Mackay, and Mackay had a very, very long career. And was a natural-born leader. And we see some leadership attributes in Dyer, there's no doubt about it. But it's way too early to say that this is the finished article. Yeah. I have to give credit to Pochettino for identifying this role for him.
You can't do that, Simon. You cannot give our manager credit for anything good. Well, I can't believe that you even tried to do that.
No. For utilizing him in that role this season, when last year he didn't even get a look in. So... He's identified, I want Toby at the back, but what do I do with this young man because his talent's too good to play in the cup games or sit on the bench? And we know that's where he played at Sporting, but we bought him for something different, and now we're using him for something different again. And I don't want to say it's an experiment because I think it's got some legs. And
I think so too.
Maybe in against City, maybe that's not the answer. I don't know. But he's certainly playing better than Bentaleb and arguably Mason based on yesterday's performance.
I thought all three of those as a collective had very, very good performance, and I think if you were to tell me that all three of those were to continue to do that consistently throughout the season, think we'll be okay.
I think with Dyer in that spot and Alderweireld playing at center half, we're a better defensive team. We've proven that already in the first 4 games.
Yeah, I think so. I'll say one quick thing about Bentleb in the 6th minute. If you want to go back and watch that game, if you have any questions about his skill, he makes 2 sliding tackles in one play. Once with his right foot, he gets right back up and makes the most insane left-footed sliding tackle back pass to Vertonghen. These players have talent. They just need to just tap the brakes, give it some time. So
we highlight and moan about the wayward passes and the balls into touch, and that's what stands out versus stuff like that. Sam.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so
hold on, real quick. I want to answer Keith's question. We play Sunderland, and then we play FK Garbage Bag or whatever the hell they are in Europe, and then we play 3 straight at White Hart Lane: Palace, Arsenal in the Capital One Cup, and City. I'll answer this question after the City game. We will know so much more about Eric Dyer and what his true capabilities are after playing Palace, Arsenal, and City in a row. I think that's going to be true test, because all those games are within 6 days of each other.
That's a great point.
The 20th, 23rd, and 26th.
And no one has to travel, which is good.
Yes.
So is this a perfect segue, since our last show, the draws for both cups have come out, and you've kind of alluded, we obviously know who we got in the Capital One Cup, and that is our favourite friends from south of the river.
Yep.
It's always nice to have a third London derby in the season, and it's at home, but I think we have to talk a little bit about that. Well, yeah, you can say that, but the last time we played him in the Cup,
it was at their place.
This Cup, it was at our place, and we lost 4-1. It was 1-1 after extra time, and we gave up 3 goals. There were, I think, 2 penalties in the game. I think one may have been during regulation and one in extra time. I could be mistaken there. I think Pletikosa played his only game for Spurs in that game. He let in 4 goals. And, Harry played the kids, and back then we were playing the kids a lot. In fact, every time we played Arsenal, Wenger seemed to be playing the kids, and he'd still have our number until, obviously, that infamous 2008 tie. Yeah. So we've played him a lot in recent years in this Cup, but with varying degrees of success. I think we'd all hope that we get a repeat of the 5-1 from January 2008. That was a 2-legged game. It was the semi-finals for the 2nd year in a row. This is a one-off. It's one leg. It's winner goes on to the next round, loser goes home, and hopefully they're going back to Woolwich. But it's definitely interesting. Obviously, everyone's going to be up for it, and we need to be up for it. We need to field a full-strength team, which, we've talked about this. This is the opportunity for some of the lads who've not had a lot of time to play, but I don't think you can do that when there's local pride at stake. Thoughts?
Yeah, this is a big one. I'll just say this: lots of hungry Jewish people in the stands in that game. You know why? Because
yes, it is.
Yes,
it's like Ramadan. Not Ramadan.
Yom Kippur.
Yom Kippur. Yeah.
I'm not Jewish, but you fast.
And thanks for upsetting the whole Jewish population.
No, but I mean between
Ken, not you.
Between Spurs,
Ramadan.
Sorry, I've got a lot of Middle Eastern friends.
That's all right. It's like me saying Fenians the other week.
He lives in Lebanon, Missouri, for God's sake.
No, I don't live in Grimsby. By the way, looking at this really quick.
He's gone to the mayor and renamed the town.
Looking at this really quick, I talked about those 3 games coming 6 days apart. That whole month of September, the 13th to the 26th, 13 days we play 5 games. 4 of them, thank God, are at White Hart Lane. The other one's at the Stadium of Light. So the 13th, 17th, 20th, 23rd, 26th, rapid fire. They're coming thick and fast, man. And we could climb the table quicker. We could plummet. It's going to be really interesting.
So Europa League draw was on Friday. Quarag, which everyone's scrambling to Wikipedia to figure out who the hell they are and where they're from.
I said to you, what's all this hashtag Quarag shit? Like, what?
Yes, it is not a new Volkswagen, by the way. Do you think Azerbaijan really should be in Europe? I don't know. I know.
Should they part of UEFA? I mean,
well, we know that, but that's a hike. Someone said 5,500 miles round trip.
Yeah, 5,500.
You could get to halfway across the Atlantic.
I'm glad we have a tough.
Well, you would get across the Atlantic at 5,500. You'd be on the west coast.
Are you glad that we have a tough group?
No, because I'm tired of us giving this competition lip service and playing awfully as we have done. Maybe Anderlecht and Monaco make us sit up and play properly.
I'm happy that we have a tough group.
I am too, Kenny.
Because I'm sick and tired of playing an easy group, and then we get into the knockout stages and we play absolute pony and we go home.
It seems like
we played pony in the group stages to start with, so at least if we play well, get some results, we'll set ourselves up well for the knockout stage.
It's the strongest group that we've had in a competition that I can remember. I don't remember who was.
Absolutely.
So I just wonder that you have to be on our game. This time around in the group stages, it's going to force us to field better teams. I mean, Monaco is going to be is going to be a test, and like maybe not so much, but the atmosphere will be certainly biting. I mean, those fans, and we've got history with them, right? Was it last time we played them? When was the last time?
Last time we played them was the '84 UEFA Cup final, and I'm pretty sure that we've not played Monaco in competitive competition before.
That'll be a good match. That'll be fun to watch. They were fun to watch against the Scum last year.
Glenn Hoddle will certainly be watching that match.
Yeah.
Well, and the Arsenal will be waiting for us to... I just call them the Arsenal. The Wankers will be waiting for us to slip up, just like they did, and they'll be cheering for Monaco that day.
Yep. Well, gentlemen, I think we've covered our listener questions. We have talked about silverware. We've covered the things that we want.
Knives and forks, and a couple of spoons.
Are we good to go?
Smash some teacups. Get me out of here.
My God, to think that in the space of 2 weeks, we got to do a podcast with just Simon and I, and then we sign a player that matches with part of our sign-off. It's unbelievable. So with that, I say, Hotspur America and our new signing, get in there,
son!
Korean son! Yes!
For the rest of you guys, be kind to one another, unless the other guy's wearing red.
Chairman?
Wankers.
Drink another one.
Wankers!
Oh, wait.
Oh, you've ruined the ending.
I do, though, but it is for a reason. Strong rumors. There's a very special guest coming on for post-mortem transfer window analysis. Further to this rumor is that this is an established, respected reporter. Stay tuned.
And he doesn't work for the Daily Mirror.
No, he doesn't.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we will be on air next weekend.
We will be.
With only
we hope to be
England and San Marino to talk about, other than obviously
we'll have an hour plus worth of, hopefully, knock on wood, transfer window analysis with actually someone who knows what they're talking about.
And maybe we'll have signed somebody. That'll be even more fun.
So I'll say it again: get in there, son,
and be kind to one another.
Unless he's wearing
the other person is wearing red.
Yeah.
And Chairman
Wankers.
Thank you.
Wankers. Oh, God.
Great week.
Take it, Elf.
Get me out of here!